Maybe it's time we go for artillery. 8 artillery turrets. Bang! That's awesome. There we go. So foundries are now on the loop. So the last things left on the to-do list for Vulcanus: automate tier 3 speed modules, increase the metallurgic science production. That's gonna get scrapped into legendary bits. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Oh, look at all that. Last time we left off with a little bit of a legendary tungsten process going on. I've been AFKing just for a little short while, and we've ended up with a nice little bit of tungsten carbide. And on top of that, we also have a pretty good collection of... where is it? I'm getting lost in my own factory again. Here we go. We're getting a pretty good collection of legendary tungsten plates. We really need more legendary tungsten carbide, so I'll have to leave that running for a bit longer. But in the meantime, something else we discovered last stream is... we got a little bit of artillery action going on. I need to make artillery shells. And to do artillery shells is a little bit of a process because we need calcite and tungsten plates. Tungsten plates are only coming from one planet. And so we need to somehow ship tungsten plates and calcite over to Nava so that we can make artillery shells there. So I think I need to get all these rocket silos going and start shipping tungsten plates. We have plenty of them stockpiled here. They're kind of just sitting here doing nothing. The other thing I wanted to do was increase our orange juice production because it's a little bit slow for my liking. So we got to increase that. Hopefully we don't have to make any trips to repair other planets. So that's the plan. That's a long list of things we need to do. So let's get started. I need to get these rocket silos up and running. One big thing that we have to do for the rocket silos is we need to be making processing units. We currently have a little bit of a janky setup going on here, but they're only using these assembling machines and not EM plants because I ran out at the time. So let's get started with that. I'm going to make a bunch of electromagnetic plants. They're going to be making processing units. We could attach these together like that. There we go, that'll be nice and compact because then we can have the sulfuric acid just passing through their ports. I think Gleba is dead again as well, yeah. Something happened. Oh, and these guys are back too. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but as you can see, we don't have any bioflux on the belt anymore, so I need to redo that at some point, but not today. Not this week. This week is a Gleba and Volgora free week. I want to be spending my time on Navas. Okay, so we have our pipes of sulfuric acid. I need to get them somehow all the way down here. We could just snake around, to be honest. Pipe this together. There we go. There's our sulfuric acid. We can chuck our productivity modules in here, and then we can also chuck a bunch of speed beacons down. Hopefully that will get them running quickly. Then we need electronic circuits and advanced circuits. So electronic circuits need not sulfuric acid, thankfully. We need copper cables and iron plates. Plates are easy. We can get them from lava. I might just borrow from this pipeline. Yeah, let's just borrow from that. And we gotta make some foundries. Should we do productivity on this or not bother? What do we reckon? Lava's pretty much infinite, so we're not necessarily losing anything. Maybe we just do speed. There we go, there's our iron. So the next thing we can do is extract those onto a belt and then run that across. This is going to make us circuits. And then we need copper cables. Okay, where to go? Where are my foundries? I'm getting lost in my own inventory. Oh, hang on, why is this burning? These trees are really annoying. I think that'll do. Okay, let's get rid of this. No! Man, these flaming trees are really not fun, are they? You could blame chat. Okay, here we go. So then that's going to be our copper cable. And there we go. That's going to give us circuits. And then we need to turn the green circuits into two things. We need to turn them into red circuits, and we need to turn them into blue circuits. These guys need plastic. And plastic is a little bit more annoying. However, oils, we kind of had a setup going on over here somewhere. Where is it? Wow, I'm lost already. We were making plastic somewhere. Where did it go? Hang on, I can use Control F, can't I? Plastic. Oh, there we go. Of course, the really, really big factory that we made for plastic earlier. So we were making plastic here, and I could just siphon that off, to be honest. Run a big tunnel up. Yeah, here we go. This will work, and then we can split this and run them across. There we go. We have plastic, copper cables, and we can get our circuits from here. There we go. Nice, nice. So there's our 2 circuits. Then that gives us blue circuits. I'm wondering if I should start investing in that belt immunity equipment. I never usually do because I like to use conveyor belts as like a treadmill. Or as like an escalator kind of thing. You know, those horizontal escalators. And they kind of give me the speed boost. But now that I have so much speed in my mech suit, maybe I can just grab some of the immunity equipment. And then we can grab our little passive provider chest here and fill them up. Alrighty, so we now need to increase the throughput because that's not going to be enough. What I really need is the stack inserters, I think. I think they'd be really good. But they need carbon fiber and jelly, and that means a trip to Gleba. And I don't want a trip to Gleba today. And the other thing I can think of is splitting these. Then we can allow 2 inserters to work there. Yeah, there we go. I think that's getting some more throughput. Over 10 minutes, what has our blue circuit production been like? Ooh, 200 per minute. That's pretty good. How are we going on our legendary? Ooh, look at that. We've got legendary tungsten. And legendary steel. Legendary refined concrete, although I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to use that for other than foundry. Okay, we got to turn these back on. These little requester chests. There we go. Automatic request. I'm going to start turning those on. Starliner Aquilo, what are you up to? Let's try and interrupt. This is going to be quantum supply. Conditions. So, item count. If our cargo on tungsten plate is less than, let's say, 2,000, then our target will become Vulcanus. Okay, hang on. So we don't have to do things in sequence anymore. Ooh, I wish I knew this earlier. Wait condition. So would this be waiting at Vulcanus or waiting before we go to Vulcanus? So if it doesn't have enough tungsten plates, it'll go to Vulcanus until it has that many tungsten plates. Then we can add request for tungsten plates. Sweet. All right. So that's going to be running along. So we'll leave that to what it's doing. So then we can make some more rocket silos. I'm lost already. Hang on. Where are we? The spaghetti is too strong. Okay, there we go. Automatic request. I'm going to start turning those on. Oh, Starliner Aquilo is here. Hey, that's cool. And they're on the way. Nice, nice. And the logistics are fun. Ah, and the orange juice is getting shipped. Nice. Something I want to do as well when we get back to Narvis is I do want to try and redo this whole spaceport area and attach some cargo bays so that we can fit more science packs in, because this is getting really full. And then the other thing that I wanted to do is get our orange juice production up because it's at 150, but I think it's time to make the push for research because we're already at 1 million science packs for our physical damage. So let's think about trying to maybe increase science pack rate to maybe 1,000 per minute. I think that'll be a good little project to work on. And to do that, we need tungsten carbide. Now, what's up with our tungsten carbide? The main factory is not making nearly enough tungsten carbide. I can't even find where I'm making tungsten carbide. Here we go. Looks like our bottleneck is carbon. I don't even have modules plugged into any of these. We don't even have beacons. Let's request some down. There we go. There we go. Look at this. We finally finished the spaceport. How many hours has it been? Like 120? Got this spaceport blueprinted and I just didn't build anything. Oh, look at this big long train of robots. Oh, and then they scatter. Nice. I do need to figure out how to ship tungsten and calcite over to Narvis for the artillery. We're making calcite on board this space station that also makes us space science, it was 4.5 per minute. It's not great. Do we try and make it in space and then ship it down, which is basically free, but so is kind of shipping the calcite from Vulcanus, where we have literal hundreds of millions of calcite that we can ship as well. Honestly, I'm not too scared of the idea of shipping calcite from Vulcanus instead of just making it up in orbit. The only way we can get enough calcite in space is if we have enough ice asteroids, but they have such bad spawn rates. I was thinking of building a ship, like one of these, that would fly around Aquilo to grab ice rocks there, because there's so many. Artillery restock. We can do this symbol. That's cool. Okay, so this is going to say any planet import 0. We're going to Narvis. Or request satisfied. Okay, and then we're going to save that interrupt. We're going to create our little group. This is going to be a new group. Artillery restock. And then we set this up for tungsten plates. And we set this also up for calcite. Alright, so calcite isn't being stored anywhere. I'm thinking easiest way to do that is just chuck down some drills. And then we can just grab a bunch of provider chests. What's going on Narvis? That is a little bit of a problem. We're going to have to head back there. And through the wall. Uh-oh. Yep, we got to get that artillery going. Oh, listen to those rockets. Okay, it's possible we may need to increase our... I just noticed something. We're out of power. I may have overdone it with the beacons. Alright, we need power. Why am I putting this on a belt and then inserting that into a chest? Oh, what am I doing? And with a fast inserter no less. That's ridiculous. How have I survived this long, honestly? We look forward to you solving all the problems. Glad you're along for the ride. We got heaps of calcite. That's awesome. How is the ship going? Ooh, look at that. We're all stocked up. That's 4,000 of calcite and 4,000 tungsten plates. But the next problem is it's going to be sitting at Narvis. And Narvis does not have the space for it. So we got to head back to Narvis, I think. First, let's increase production of our science here. Oh, the alarms are so horrid to listen to. Okay, that should speed up the carbon production, which should now allow us to speed up the carbide production. Ooh, we're very full on carbide. Okay, so the next thing to do is more production. And more production. And then we need to bring power along. And we need pipes. Yeah, that's going to be making our orange juice. We just need more molten copper. Okay, so let's speed these up. Except we can't get rid of the stone quickly enough. So let's throw some upgrades on this. And I might do a belt merger here. There we go, that works. But this is still not enough molten copper. What I could do is copy this design. And we need to power it over here. Cool. Alright, so that should be getting us even more. Ah, hang on, no. We need to get the stone out first. Bring that across. I'm probably going to need another belt. I think this is going to be too much for this belt to handle. I'm about to make a bus of stone. And all of it's getting shipped over to an untimely demise here at this lava. That should vent all those and get us a little bit more copper. I should just be able to join these together like that. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's dropping real quick. Oh, wow. And we're at 0. But orange juice is coming along, so let's double belt this. There we go. That should now double lane this. And we need more molten copper. Ooh, actually, we're low on lava now. How about that? Okay, we need to grab some more lava. How many of these do we reckon we need? Probably just 2. 2's probably still overkill. Yep, looks good. Stone is just the next problem. Oh god. Okay. Chat, how do we get rid of stone? How do we get rid of stone quicker? Could maybe stick some more inserters here. One set of bulk inserters is not getting rid of the stone quickly enough. Okay, that's gonna make another belt for our bus. You know what this calls for? Ooh. Ooh. This feels so cursed. only because it's necessary, because we've gotten to a point where it is necessary, but it might be time for one of our fancy little hourglass bus balances. Just so we can balance the load on the stone to get rid of it. As long as it looks good, I guess, then we're happy, right, chat? Or are there other priorities that engineers should have? And the next video, okay, so previously I went mad and made a 128 balance of a stone. I gotta find somewhere to fit that. We're gonna find somewhere. It's gonna work. It's gonna happen. No! Chat, I broke something. Ah, I broke this. Okay, that's easy. Power's still looking a little short. Sure, we'll just snake it around like that. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I have to keep telling myself, it's fine. There is no such thing as gross. There is only work. If it works, it's fine. And how is our lava going? Oh, tungsten carbide's out. Damn, how much carbide is getting used? Alright, I guess we just need to make more. Wow, that's a lot of orange juice. Ooh, we're at 433 per minute. Nice. That's a solid looking belt. Alright, so that's still not enough over there though. Can we split this? If we split this here, we need to saturate it kind of in the middle here. Around here, I reckon. Oh, wait a second. We're full. We're actually full on orange juice. Okay, hang on. Okay, hang on. This is a wacky idea. How about... You see that this is going? Oh wait, no, I'm out of Vulcan sodas. No, it's OJ chest centipede time. I think this is the first... Wait, yeah, this is a milestone. Hang on. This is the first science pack centipede chest we've ever built. That's just a crazy amount of science packs. 9.6k times 6 is how much we're going to be storing on this planet. We can have a two-sided centipede. Yeah. There we go, look at that. Look how industrious we're getting. And then we can go a little extra crazy and store that in these. I don't know why I'm storing so much of it. I just want to see what the throughput ends up being. Oh yeah, look at that production rate. Wait a minute. How hot is the copper? 1.1 thousand. This is some hot orange shit. Oh, that's gonna be sour. Gross. There we go, that'll fill that up. We should actually upgrade this as well. We could probably get a little bit more mileage. There we go. Now we're out of tungsten plates. How did we run out of tungsten plates? Oh, we're just out of tungsten ore. Ooh. What if we made another train? Let's make another train for tungsten. Oh no, our lube. What's wrong with our lube? Not the lube. We also need rail signals because we don't want our trains crashing into each other. So let's set that up. Oh, actually, no, we have a problem. We can't do that. We need to start building a second train line. Oh no, there's lava here. That's very, very annoying. And we're out of rails. Okay. Do we have any on the ship? No, we do not. Alright, I'm gonna have to start making some rails here. Oh wait, rails are done with stone. Finally, a use for the stone. We don't have to chuck it all out. Ah! What is that? What kind of a shape is that? Okay, there we go. That should be both ends of the rail. Awesome. So now I need to copy this train. Can I copy this train? No, hang on. How do you copy trains? Okay, maybe we just build a train and copy the settings. Copy user train group. What's a train group? It's learning time. Oh, these are groups and not names. I've just been naming trains. I didn't realize you're creating groups. Tungsten supply line. So what you're implying is I can assign this the same group. Ooh, and that copies it over. Oh, that's cool. And it obviously needs some fuel, so I'll just chuck some carbon in for now. Hit O. Whoa. Whoa, what is this? Why am I just finding out about this now? Oh, that's cool. You can see them all on the map. Okay, that is proper cool. I like that. How many of you in chat knew about this and not me? Is there one person in the world that knows everything about Factorio? Okay, we need tungsten plates. What's wrong with our tungsten plates? Yeah, it's all just getting picked up there. Alright, I think we genuinely just need more. Hold on a sec. So what I've decided is, I've originally been shipping tier 2 speed modules across from Narvis to Vulcanus to then convert them into tier 3 modules. But I'm thinking instead we might just make the tier 2 modules here on this planet. Might be a lot simpler. What's the best way to route this around? I don't want to be siphoning off the main supply. Let's grab a splitter. Here we go, we're making a bus of circuits. Boom. First things first, we need an EM plant making speed modules. So let's chuck that in. Then we can probably just chuck that straight into a tier 2, can't we? There we go. And that'll end up in this active provider chest, which will then get shipped by a robot over here, where we can then make tier 3 speed modules. That's tier 3 speed modules finally done. I can tick that off my checklist. So we've increased orange juice production, we've increased blue circuit production, we've built the extra rocket silos, and we've produced tier 3 speed modules. And we're delivering everything we need to Narvis to make the artillery shells. So the last thing for us to do now is to head over to Narvis and start making those artillery shells, which is exciting, because then we can finally kick some ass.